We scroll, we post, we smile, we perform. On the surface, your Instagram feed glows with aesthetic perfection. Sunsets, lattes, filtered selfies, gym flexes, and curated quotes about growth. But pun slightly to the left, and what do we see? A half-eaten sandwich, unread messages, a tired face staring into a cracked phone screen. This is the great digital paradox. We show everyone everything, except who we really are. Carl Jung warned us about this long before social media existed. He called it the persona, a psychological mask we create to fit into the world. But he also warned the persona is only a mask, and the danger is in believing it's who you truly are. Today, that mask is high definition, highly interactive, and dangerously addictive. Jordan Peterson calls for authenticity in a performative age. Nietzsche screams through the centuries, become who you are. But can we win every click, like, and share rewards us for being something we're not? Carl Jung, the Swiss psychiatrist and founder of analytical psychology, introduced the concept of the persona in his seminal work to essays on analytical psychology. The persona, Jung wrote, is a system of behavior that is adopted in response to the demands of society. It is a compromise between the individual and social reality. Translation: it's your role, your character in the play of life, your digital brand. In real life, we might put on a persona to get through a job interview, a family dinner, or a first date. But online, the persona becomes constant. Your profile is your resume, your costume, and your advertisement all in one. Look at bios: traveler, CEO, gym rat, coffee addict, girl boss, hustler. All identity, no depth. Every time we post something just to appear on brand, we strengthen the persona and weaken the self. Let me tell you a real story. Ava, a 22-year-old TikTok creator, had over 500,000 followers. Her niche: morning routines, clean girl aesthetic, wellness hacks. Every post was sunlit and soothing, but off camera, she was anxious, exhausted. She said, "I was performing positivity, but I wasn't living it. I didn't even know who I was anymore." She was no longer Ava. She was the persona. Jung warned that this disconnect is dangerous. Eventually, the individual becomes identical with the persona, and the real individuality is pushed into the unconscious. And once your real self is buried deep enough, you start to feel like a stranger in your own life. Here's the twist: the more we polish our persona, the more we repress everything that doesn't fit the narrative. Carl Jung called this repressed material the shadow, the parts of ourselves we deny: our anger, jealousy, insecurity, sadness, and fear. And social media is the ultimate tool for shadow repression. You're feeling lonely? Post a photo with friends. You're insecure? Post a gym pic. You're confused? Share a motivational quote. But here's the trap: what you don't express consciously leaks out unconsciously. The more you suppress your flaws online, the more they control you offline. You become irritable, envious, emotionally numb, because you're spending your emotional energy protecting a fake image. And let's not forget the comparison trap. You scroll through other people's polished personas, compare them to your messy reality, and think, "I'm not enough." Jordan Peterson addresses this directly in 12 Rules for Life. Compare yourself to who you were yesterday, not to who someone else is today. It sounds simple, but in a world built on likes, metrics, and followers, it's radical. Now, let's bring in Friedrich Nietzsche, the original rebel of modern philosophy. Nietzsche didn't believe in masks. He believed in chaos, contradiction, and inner power. His challenge to us was simple and terrifying. Become who you are. What does that mean? Not to yourself in the cheesy, motivational way, but dig through your layers of conditioning, self-deception, and social masks and forge the real you. To Nietzsche, the self isn't found, it's built, and building it requires honesty. Radical, sometimes painful honesty. This is where Jordan Peterson and Nietzsche overlap. Both agree you must confront the parts of you that make you uncomfortable. Your laziness, your resentment, your self-doubt. These aren't flaws to hide. They're signals. Your truest self lives underneath them if you dare to look. So what can you actually do? First, audit your feed. Go back through your own posts. Ask yourself, is this real or is this performance? Did you post it to connect or to impress? Second, journal without a filter. Write down things you'd never say online, things you're afraid of, ashamed of. That's where your truth begins. Third, stop curating. Start expressing. Post something that's honest, not perfect. Even if it's small, a bad day, a regret, a question you're wrestling with. Fourth, practice silence. Sometimes the most radical act is not to post at all. Disconnect, be with your thoughts, see who you are without an audience. And fifth, shadow work. Ask, what am I hiding from others? What am I hiding from myself? Because, as Jung said, one does not become enlightened by imagining figures of light, but by making the darkness conscious. So what's the real danger of social media? It's not the technology. It's the temptation to be liked instead of being real, to be followed instead of being whole. Carl Jung warned us, you wear a mask for so long, you forget there was ever anything beneath it, but it's still there, buried, beating, waiting. You don't have to delete your accounts. You don't have to disappear, but you do have to decide. Do you want to be a persona or a person? Drop an emoji in the comments if you've ever faked a pose. We all have, but now you know what it costs. Subscribe if you're ready to unmask your true self. Until then, I leave you with this. The privilege of a lifetime is to become who you truly are. Carl Jung.